Hi, I'm going to be covering my method for using the Fox bender for bending figured mahogany. In this case, I've already bent the one side. You can see that in the mold. And we're going to bend this section here, which again is a slightly shorter piece. The cutoff from this piece is going to be bent to fit the inside of the Florentine cutaway section here. I'll do that later, might even get a chance to make a tape of it, but for right now we'll concentrate on just setting this up for the Fox bender. I've marked the wood for the location of the waste so that I can ensure that I get enough of the side to make sure that I can get to the tail kraft. In other words, I want to make sure that this edge goes slightly past the center line of the guitar, and that this edge, which is toward the cutaway, goes slightly past the length I need for. I'll start by cutting some aluminum foil, and I'll need a piece about 36 inches long. Now, aluminum foil comes in 12-inch wide rolls and 18 and 24-inch wide rolls. If you buy a 12-inch wide roll, all you have to do is lay that on top of the slat, press down on the edge. You can see where to cut. In this case, I'll trim the length with a sharp razor blade. And I'll just follow the edge of the spring steel slat to cut the sheet in half. Doesn't have to be exact, but it needs to be close, about 6 inches wide. I think everybody's slats are cut just about for 6 inches. So we have one piece of aluminum for the sandwich. This is the other piece of aluminum. I'll just finish trimming this to length. And that's it. Now, I mentioned that we'll put a layer of aluminum between the slat and the wood. This again is to isolate the wet paper from the slat, which will rust if it gets wet. The other thing is you may get iron staining on some woods. So now I'm going to have to cut some paper about this length. And in this case, right about here will work. And this paper will be my moisture reservoir. I'm actually going to soak the paper and let it dry out just a bit as appropriate to the type of wood. Mahogany doesn't like a lot of moisture. It encourages the wood fibers to buckle in the tight area around the cutaway and the waist. We don't want to have that happen. We just want enough water to give a quick burst of steam, soften up the wood fibers enough to get it to bend, and that's it. So in this case, we've got our paper, and we're ready to wet the paper out and put it on. So I've got to move my wood out of there. So I've got a bowl here. Use distilled water if you're working with woods that are high in tannins. Oak is one. Walnut can be pretty high in tannic acid. What will happen is the iron content in the water, if you've got high iron, can actually stain the wood, cause little gray spots there. Mahogany, it's normally not a problem. So this is a little bit damp right now, and you can see that that paper is a little glossy. That's a little bit too much water for mahogany. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to squeegee this on the edge of the bench. That may be out of view. I'll do it over here. And that'll get rid of a lot of my water. Again, if you've got filings, iron filings, or anything else on the bench, clean that up. So you now see that we're starting to lose the glossy look on the paper as it loses a little bit of that moisture I dumped into it. And we're getting to about the right amount of moisture. So I'm going to lay this line it up carefully, lay it on top of the foil, smooth this out, and just about ready. Put the wood in. I'm going to go ahead and wet this out first because it takes just a minute. Put the wood on. We'll go ahead and put the second piece of paper on, the foil, and the sandwich is going to be just about ready to go. Again, go ahead and soak the wood. This is cool water. Warm water will speed absorption. If you really want to get a lot of water into the wood, for say a rosewood, something of that nature where you feel like you've got to be a little bit wetter, then just use a little bit of warm water, pull it out, slap it on, and you're going to have plenty of water. I don't add any water other than what's in the paper for mahogany, and that seems to give me a real good bend. Okay, so this looks like it's just about ready to go on. I'll stick it to the bench right here. I'll place the wood so that it's just about half an inch from the end of the slat. That'll guarantee that I've got good coverage by the slat. I'll center it. Wood's in. You notice it doesn't go the rest of the way because, again, it's the cutaway side of the guitar. I'll now take the paper, the top sheet of paper, lay it in. Now you could wrap the wood in an envelope of paper. The problem is that lay the paper out flat, put the wood in, fold it up, fold the foil up. That makes a nice sandwich. It's easy to handle. The problem is that you get a lot of wrinkles around the edges and that can show up on the wood. I don't do that, but if you want to try it, go ahead. I just find that this method gives the less marking of the wood than anything else. So there's our aluminum. I'll take a cheap foam block here, packaging, just get any air out that was there in the bending sandwich. Pull that out. We're in good shape here. We can see the tape markers to either side. That'll help me locate the waste when we get over to the bender. I'll put my top slat on. I'll put my blanket on. And the blanket's going to be just a bit longer than the bending sandwich. That's fine, no problem at all. And then there's my last slat that I use to protect the blanket. So at this point, we have my way of keeping track of things is I have the plug toward the treble, or not toward the treble, but toward the neck block of the guitar, so I know where the tail block end is. Okay, we'll take this over to the Fox bender, and I'll show you the setup and getting that in.